Hey everyone, this is Lay, and welcome to the third episode of the Ion Asia podcast, where we talk about market research and trends in Asia. I'm currently recording here in Manila with Joko.
Hello, everyone. Today is January 25, the time of recording. Welcome to our podcast. If you're interested to know about market research trends in Asia, then we hope you like the topics we'll discuss here. This episode is brought to you by dataSpring Zanli, one of China's biggest panel websites. Let's begin the show with our Asian news feature. For our current news, we'll be checking the International Air Transport Association's response to the ongoing travel restrictions in Asia. According to the Asia Pacific head of the aviation body, the Omicron variant of the virus is a temporary speed bump on the path to recovery. The title of the article is People Miss Travel, IATA Bullish on Asia Travel Rebound in 2022. It's dated December 31, 2021, and the author is John Power from Al Jazeera. In an exclusive interview, Philip Go, regional head of the International Air Transport Association, told Al Jazeera he was optimistic about the resumption of travel in Asia in 2022, despite the region's doubling down on travel restrictions in response to the variant. Go, IATA Vice President for Asia Pacific, said governments in the region that had banked on isolation to control COVID-19 more than any other part of the world would ultimately reopen because their citizens want to travel and are asking for it. Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand have reintroduced tough travel curbs in response to Omicron, while mainland China, Hong Kong, and New Zealand have doubled down on existing ultra-strict border controls. The region's deepening isolation comes as countries such as the United States, Australia, and Canada ease testing and isolation rules amid growing acknowledgement that efforts to tightly control the spread of the highly transmissible Omicron strain have become too disruptive to everyday life. Although Omicron is believed to be 2 to 3 times more transmissible than the Delta variant, the coronavirus strain has been associated with milder illness. Even before the variant's arrival, the Asia Pacific had yet to see any meaningful rebound in travel. Air traffic in the region was down 92.8% in October compared with October 2019, according to IATA data. By comparison, travel in North America and Europe was down just 57% and 50.6% respectively in the same period. While credited with reducing deaths from COVID-19, the region's isolation has decimated travel-reliant industries such as tourism, separated families, upended plans for study, work, and migration, and disrupted supply chains. In November, the IATA released a blueprint for restarting international travel that called on authorities to adopt simple, consistent, and predictable measures. Proposals included removing all hurdles for vaccinated travelers and allowing quarantine-free travel for passengers who are not vaccinated but have a negative antigen result. Go said the effective shutdown of the region's aviation had highlighted the immense importance of aviation in our lives, which is often taken for granted. It's been a while since we're allowed to travel freely. If there's an opportunity for you to travel abroad and the restrictions are lifted, would you take it?
Honestly, I don't know, but I prefer to err on the side of caution. Lifting restrictions doesn't mean it's already safe to travel, or that we're safe from the virus. But then again, it's a case to case basis. If I'm working abroad and I want to go home and see my family again after 2 long years, I think flying back home is worth it. But flying for vacation, I don't think so. I'll still put my travel plans on hold.
Even if there's a vaccine screening and quarantine measures?
Nope, even if we have the strictest policies and we personally follow all rules, we can't control other people's behavior. For example, here in Manila, there are cases where Filipinos returning to the country violated standard quarantine measures. And these quarantine violators infected the people around them and forced the temporary closure of establishments that they visited. I'd rather choose to avoid travel altogether than risk my health and other people's health.
Yes, I agree with you. Even if the current Omicron variant is said to be less severe than the previous ones, the higher rate of infection poses a risk to those who are elderly or have comorbidities. Most of the time, measures are placed not only for individual people's sake, but for everyone's safety. The aviation and tourism industry are heavily hit by the pandemic. But if the authorities get lenient in the short run, the pandemic will likely last longer. Our episode is brought to you by dataSpring Zanli. Introduced in 2009 as 91 When. Zanli is a recruitment platform for Chinese panelists. It features surveys, a comment sharing platform, and a rewards exchange program. Visit zanli.com for more information.
Speaking of Zanli, we have a section there where we post different questions targeted to thousands of respondents in China. Today, we'll be checking their views on marriage.
We asked 14,403 of our panelists in China about the considerations in marrying someone, and here are the top 5 answers. First, among 5,584 respondents, or about 38%, say personality is the top consideration. Second, about 3,187 participants, or about 22.1%, voted for economic basis as a top consideration, while 3,121, or 21.7% of the respondents, said that values were what they were considering. About 754 people, or 5.2% of the respondents, picked physical fitness as the 4th top consideration. Lastly, at the 5th position, as answered by 568 people, or 3.9% of the respondents, is individual ability.
Many of the Chinese respondents consider personality as the number one consideration for marrying someone. I guess this is true across different cultures.
That's because personality matters in the long run. If couples don't have something in common personality wise, there will always be misunderstandings, and I doubt that any kind of relationship will last long. I also noticed in this survey that financial capability is also a top consideration among many respondents. In my opinion, being able to handle a home financially is a major consideration. Raising a family is no joke.
Well, marriage itself is expensive. Practically speaking, if a couple doesn't have enough money for at least a decent civil marriage and a small fees, maybe they can hold off their wedding plans a bit, don't you think?
Yes, I agree. Getting married may need some sacrifices, and financial security is a major concern. This is just one of the many surveys posted on zanli.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter to catch our weekly quick poll survey highlights coming in from our survey platforms across the Asia Pacific region. Surveyon in Southeast Asia, Panel Now in Korea, and Zanli in China. If you'd like to create or try out a quick poll survey, feel free to visit our websites, surveyon.com, panelnow.co.kr, and zanli.com. If you'd like to set up a more comprehensive survey, then you can contact us through our website, dataspring.com. That's dataspring.com.
This is the part in our podcast where we entertain some of the most frequently asked questions on the dataSpring website. We get a lot of questions about what we do in the MR industry, so here's an opportunity for us to answer them one by one. We hope to answer all of the questions, but we'll take them a handful at a time per episode.
Yes, let's check some of the questions. Now, this question is from How You, and her question is, can I apply my online research to mobile devices? Yes, it is possible, and it will take a few steps to optimize your projects to mobile devices. Check out our Mobile Research Essentials Primer on our website to know how you can do this. Our next question is from Choi. He asks, where does dataSpring get its panels? We source panels through our proprietary platforms, API integrations, and third-party sources. You can download dataSpring's panel book to know more about our panel sources.
And those are the 2 questions from our Q&A segment. If you have any questions for dataSpring, just feel free to send them to contact@dataspring.com. Again, that's contact@d8aspring.com, and we'll gladly answer them.
Now let's proceed to our next segment, where we share valuable and effective market research studies, tips, and tricks.
Today, we'll be sharing the 7 ways to get respondents for your survey so that you can focus more on your study and have one less worry. Number 1, identify who your respondents are. To save time, resources, and energy, you must first identify the respondents that represent your study's target demographic. Knowing who your respondents should help you determine where, when, and how you can reach them.
Number 2, create a well designed survey. Keep your questions strategically ordered, brief, clear, and properly screened so that your respondents won't have any trouble with your survey. Also, try testing out your survey to a small sample of respondents so you can refine it.
Number 3, send out a personalized invite. Don't just keep on throwing surveys to everyone. They will be more receptive to your survey if you reach out to them and discuss the survey before they answer it. Additionally, your respondents will be more enthusiastic to complete your survey if you send out an invite that somehow reflects and addresses their interests and needs.
Number 4, use your mobile device. According to the Digital 2019 report by Hootsuite and We Are Social, there are 3.98 billion active mobile internet users in the world. Thanks to mobile technology, you can reach out to more potential respondents more easily and quickly.
Number 5, maximize your social media. Social media is one of the most convenient ways to send out surveys, and you can maximize your reach by taking advantage of you and your contacts' networks. If you've created a survey that reflects your respondents' interests, there's a possibility that your survey can get shared with more respondents.
Number 6, incentivize your survey. One good way to get more respondents is by using monetary or non monetary incentives. You must think carefully first before deciding on this. Without a proper reward system, you might attract the wrong respondents and generate biased responses.
Number 7, use online research panels. One of the most cost effective ways to get respondents is by using online research panels, which is a sample of persons who have agreed to complete surveys via the internet. There are agencies that offer online research panels, most of which are tailored fit to different requirements, like your dissertation surveys.
If you need assistance in getting an Asian online research panel for your survey, or if you'd like to try our survey demo, feel free to contact us on our website and try our free IR check. If you'd like to know more about online research panels, visit our website dataspring.com. These are the tips and tricks we offer for you and your project. You may also find these tips and tricks in our blog at dataspring.com/blog if you want to read more about them.
We're now at the end of our podcast episode, and we'd like to leave you with a quote. This one comes from the great author Arthur Conan Doyle in his Sherlock Holmes series. Quote, "It is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data." Unquote.
We're planning to release more episodes soon. If you have some questions or proposed market research projects, you can email them to contact@dataspring.com, or you can visit our website. That's dataspring.com. That's DASPRING.com. Our sales teams are available 24/7 to answer all your inquiries.
We look forward to setting up more episodes for you. Bye for now.